Please welcome the class of 2021.
Look at it!
Candidates, please remain standing. Please remain standing for the processional of the rest of your class.
Hey, spell it out for me.
Candidates of the class of 2021, please take your seats. Class of 2021, please be seated. Candidates and guests, please stand for the President's Party.
I greet you with grace and peace, and I welcome you to Stanford University's 130th annual commencement. Here at Stanford, it is our tradition to begin communal celebrations with an acknowledgement of the land on which we stand and the peoples who have stewarded it across the generations. Please now turn your attention to the screen as our students offer this acknowledgement.
Stanford sits on the ancestral lands of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe.
This land was, and continues to be, of great importance to Native people.
Consistent with our values of community and diversity,
We have a responsibility
to
acknowledge and make visible
the university's relationship
to Native people.
For those of you who may not have read the caption, let me read out what it was that our students so beautifully said in the video that you heard. The students, or that you watched, I suppose. My goodness. Stanford, we know, sits on the ancestral land of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. This land was and continues to be of great importance to the Ohlone people. Consistent with our values of community and inclusion, we have a responsibility to acknowledge, honor, and make visible the university's relationship to Native peoples. I encourage you to look on our website for you to be able to both see and to hear that acknowledgement. You can find it on our website in the Religious and Spiritual Life. There are always these bumps along the road, aren't there, where things happen that we don't expect them to happen. So let us gather together. In the spirit of honor and blessing that we heard in the land acknowledgement, let us be together. We gather here at last, returning home to mark this moment. We confess there were times we thought this day would never come. Days of struggle and strife, uncertainty and doubt, things that didn't go as we planned. And this year, our days were marked more by grief and loss than we would have liked. And yet, despite it all, we have made it this far by faith. And for that, we are exceedingly grateful. We are grateful for family and friends, classmates and colleagues who accompanied and encouraged us, supported and loved us. We are grateful for our university service workers, our staff and faculty who, amid a pandemic, held fast to our unwavering commitment to excellence in education. And above all, we are grateful for this community gathered here that is Stanford. We together are Stanford. Diverse and vibrant, we have become stronger through adversity, growing ever more together, even while apart. And so may the lessons learned through challenge and change shape our lives. May we never lose sight of the things that matter most. Moored by our most deeply held values, may we cultivate community, pursue knowledge, and forge justice this day and always. For our time together has instilled in us the fervent belief and the sure hope that our actions can and do transform the world. For if not us, who? If not now, when? Amen.
Please be seated. Well, thank you so much, Dean Steinwert. And sorry that you had to deal with that little contretemps. Members of the class of 2021, Stanford faculty and staff, former and current trustees of our university, and cherished family members and friends, I thank you for joining us on this very special day to celebrate Stanford's 130th commencement. It's my great honor to warmly welcome all of you, whether you're participating here at Stanford or joining us via live stream today. As you can see, our commencement ceremony looks a little different this year. So I'd like to begin by asking you to join me in thanking everyone who has made our in-person celebration possible in this most unusual year and in light of public health restrictions, including the groundskeepers, ushers, event planners, and crew, as well as those who are working our cameras and the live stream to make it possible for us to share this celebration with those who can't be here in person today. Thank you all. And now, to members of our senior class who are receiving their degrees today, I offer a special welcome. You have been through a senior year unlike any in Stanford's history. Today, we celebrate your accomplishments during your time at Stanford, your perseverance in the face of great challenge, and we look ahead with anticipation to everything you'll do next. Class of 2021, I want to express how proud we are of all that you've achieved during your time at Stanford and of all the hard work that brought you to today. Today, we will award 1,436 bachelor's degrees. Of our graduates, 274 will graduate with departmental honors and 255 with university distinction. "91 have satisfied the requirements of more than one major, and 24 are graduating with dual bachelor's degrees. "444 of our seniors completed minors, and 263 will graduate with both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. These numbers represent the hard work of students from around the globe. 154 graduating seniors representing 57 countries will receive degrees today. Now, some of our international students are here with us in the stadium, but I know many of you are watching from your homes around the world. For those who are watching from afar today, I want you to know that your absence is felt here. I wish we were celebrating with you in person, and I look forward to the day when we welcome you back to Stanford as alumni. All the numbers I've cited illustrate the tremendous accomplishments of Stanford graduates and their potential, your potential, to have a positive impact on our world. Now, graduates, during your time at Stanford, our faculty and staff have dedicated themselves to nurturing that potential in each of you. And I want to take this moment to thank them for their ongoing support and encouragement, especially in this most difficult year. Thank you. Your accomplishments are also due, in part, to the dedication, to the loving encouragement, and to the extraordinary support of the family members and friends who have championed each of you in the years you worked toward your Stanford degree. Some of these family members and friends are here today in the stands of our stadium. Many more are watching this ceremony from around the world. They include your mothers and your fathers, your siblings, your grandparents, aunts and uncles, your mentors and your peers, people who helped you along the way to Stanford and through your years at Stanford. And so I'd like to ask all the members of the class of 2021 to now join in one of Stanford's most cherished commencement traditions. I ask each of you to think of all those family members and friends who supported you on this very special journey. And if you're here with us in the stadium, please rise if you're able. Graduates, please rise. And whether you're here in the stadium or watching your loved ones from afar, please turn to your family members and friends, and please join me in saying these words to them: thank you. Please be seated. To the family members and friends of our Stanford graduates, I say thank you as well. Thank you for entrusting your loved ones to our university in their time here. And thank you for all that you have done to ensure their success. And now it's my pleasure to turn the program over to Stanford's Provost, Persis Drell, who will present the winners of the University Awards.
Almost forgot. It is now my pleasure and privilege to present the Walter J. Gores Awards for Excellence in Teaching. Recommendations for these prizes and for the Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Awards and the Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Awards were considered by a committee of faculty, students, and staff. The Gores Awards were established by a bequest from Walter J. Gores, a Stanford alumnus of the class of 1917. Gores was a dedicated teacher who strove for excellence during his 30 years as a distinguished professor at the University of Michigan. The Gores Awards recognize excellent teaching at the undergraduate and graduate level, as defined in its broadest sense to include lecturing, discussions, tutoring, advising, and course development. Teaching is a complex art as well as an essential cornerstone of university life. I would like to ask the recipients to come forward now, and I ask that you hold your applause until I have announced all of this year's award winners. If the recipients would now come forward. The recipients of the 2021 Walter J. Gores Awards for Excellence in Teaching are Justin Dubois, Henry Dreyfus Professor of Chemistry in the School of Humanities and Sciences and Professor by courtesy of Chemical and Systems Biology in the School of Medicine, Guosong Hong, Assistant Professor of Material Science and Engineering in the School of Engineering, and Emily Schell, doctoral candidate in Developmental Psychological Sciences in the Graduate School of Education, and a minor in psychology in the School of Humanities and Sciences. On behalf of the university, I congratulate each of you for this recognition of excellence in your teaching. Thank you. I would now like to ask the Dinkelspiel Award winners to come forward at this time. Lloyd Dinkelspiel's service to Stanford included the presidency of the Board of Trustees in the 1950s and was characterized by an enduring concern for the quality of undergraduate education at this university. Shortly after he died in 1959, a memorial fund was established to endow the Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Awards for distinctive contributions to undergraduate education. The recipients of the 2021 Lloyd W. Dinkelspiel Award for distinctive contributions to undergraduate education are Lisa Huang, Senior Lecturer in Chemical Engineering in the School of Engineering, Jennifer Rowland, Assistant Dean and Associate Director of the First Gen and/or Low Income Fly Office, and Chloe Stoddard, candidate for a bachelor's degree with honors in international relations with a minor in human rights in the School of Humanities and Sciences. And our fourth Dinkelspiel Award recipient is Costanza Hasselmann, master's degree candidate in Sustainability Science and Practice in the School of Earth, Energy, and Environmental Sciences, and a candidate for a bachelor's degree with honors in sociology with a minor in human rights in the School of Humanities and Sciences. On behalf of the university, I congratulate you for this significant recognition of your contributions to undergraduate education. Thank you. The Gores and Dinkelspiel Awards are joined by a third, the Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Award for exceptional service to Stanford University. I would like to ask the Cuthbertson Award winners to come forward at this time. The award was established in 1981 to honor the late Kenneth Cuthbertson, one of the early architects of Stanford's long-range financial planning and development programs. The sole criterion of the Cuthbertson Award is the quality of the contribution that the recipient has made to Stanford. This is a fitting, lasting legacy to an individual who cared deeply about the university and its values, and whose contributions continue to benefit each and every one of us today. The recipients of the 2021 Kenneth M. Cuthbertson Award for exceptional contributions to Stanford University are Jan Barker Alexander, Assistant Vice Provost for Inclusion and Community and Executive Director of the Centers for Equity, Community, and Leadership and the Offices of First Generation and/or Low-Income Programs and for Military-Affiliated Communities, and Thomas Fenner, Deputy General Counsel in the Office of General Counsel. On behalf of the university, I congratulate both winners for this distinguished recognition of their exceptional service to Stanford. Okay. We also want to congratulate all of the award winners among today's graduates, including recipients of departmental awards, national and international awards, university awards, and new members of honor societies such as Phi Beta Kappa and Tau Beta Pi. A full list of award recipients has been compiled on the Vice Provost for the Undergraduate Education website, and a link can be accessed from the Commencement website listed in your program. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Provost Drell. It is one of my great honors as Stanford's president to address our graduating seniors on Commencement Day. And this year, it's a special joy to be gathered with so many of you here in Stanford Stadium. Class of 2021, you've persisted through a time of extraordinary challenge. But your years at Stanford have also been marked by incredible achievement and intellectual exploration. Your hard work and your dedication have brought you to today. I hope you savor this moment. To the entire class of 2021, in person and around the world, I'm delighted to celebrate you and everything you've accomplished at Stanford as you prepare to embark on the exciting next stage of your journey. You're entering the world beyond Stanford during a time of historic change. The pandemic has altered our world profoundly. It's also affected each of us on a deep personal level. Some have lost loved ones this year. Others have missed personal milestones or celebrations. We've all lacked in-person contact with friends and with peers. And while we're emerging from the pandemic here in California and across the United States, I know that's not the case in many parts of the world where it continues unabated. For those who are still suffering the effects of the pandemic in our country and around the world, my thoughts are with you. It has been a hard year. But in the face of this hardship, our community kept going. And so I'd like to say a few words today about everything you've accomplished over the last year and how you have strengthened our community even during this time of fragmentation. And then I'd like to share how I believe these experiences will have helped to prepare you as you enter the world beyond Stanford. First, you have strengthened our community by leaning on one another. Your friendship with peers and classmates have grown stronger in the face of shared challenges. You've kept one another safe by embracing health and safety protocols like wearing masks and participating in COVID testing. And you've reinforced our community by working together to find new ways to pursue the things that matter to you. Maybe you performed alongside your peers in Stanford's first remote winter performing arts festival. Or maybe you participated in at-home lab work with materials arriving by mail and experiments carried out side by side in video boxes over Zoom. Perhaps you worked with others to make a difference through new remote cardinal service opportunities, or even started your own nonprofit like the Stanford students who created Bridging Tech, which provides computers to vulnerable students at risk for falling behind in remote schooling. And maybe you even spent 9 weeks on the road with your teammates to bring home the national championship for women's basketball. Whatever your own particular area of focus, all of you, each and every one of you, have found ways to pursue your studies and explore your interests through a difficult time. And in working together to do so, you've also reinforced our community at a time when we were physically apart. Another way in which you've strengthened our community, even as you've navigated the pandemic, is through your response to racial injustice. In the aftermath of George Floyd's murder last year, you pressed for change in our broader society and here on campus too. You shared your personal experiences and your ideas for how Stanford needs to change. And as we've launched initiatives aimed at advancing a more just society and improving Stanford itself, your insights have helped to guide our way. To our graduates, to all of you who have played a key role in this work, I'm tremendously grateful for your commitment to making our community better. And finally, At the same time as you've made our community stronger over the last year, each of you individually has also learned and grown and changed through these experiences. The pandemic upended our lives, and after the year we've had, it may feel tempting to turn your back on this time, to forget about it as you move on to what's next. But living through this time has also provided each of us with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reassess, to think about what we really value and the shape we want our lives to take. For graduating seniors, this has come at a crucial moment as you prepare to launch into your post-college lives. You now have a rare opportunity to reassess what interests, relationships, and pursuits give you meaning and fulfillment, and to design your life based on what you truly value. For some of you, this reassessment may affirm the path you're already on. Perhaps your experiences over the last year have solidified your decision to pursue further studies in your chosen field, enter a profession, or live in a certain part of the country or world. But for others, your experiences over the last year may have caused you to change course. Perhaps last year has shown you new ways to use your talents to make a difference in the lives of others. So, as each of you prepares to move on to graduate school, to new jobs, or to other new adventures, I encourage you to take time to reflect with your family members, loved ones, and friends. I want you to ask yourselves, what have I learned about myself this year? What are my values, and how have they shifted over the past 15 months? What matters most to me? And how can I use this knowledge to shape the life I want to lead and to contribute to the world? As Stanford graduates, you have many opportunities in front of you. It is up to each of you to decide what you want to do with everything that you have worked so hard for. Class of 2021, I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished over your years here and of the persistence, grace, and commitment to others that you've shown over the last 15 months. I hope these experiences have helped clarify what is truly important and meaningful to you. You've gained the knowledge and the skills to pursue a life that conforms with your values, and the strength and tenacity that have brought you through the last year will help you in that pursuit. And that brings me to today's commencement speaker, Issa Rae. An actor, writer, and producer, Issa Rae is known for portraying complex characters and everyday Black life on screen, always with her trademark wit, wisdom, and creativity. Issa graduated from Stanford in 2007 with a major in African and African American Studies and a minor in political science. Her acting talent, impressive writing skills, and comedic voice were evident from the very beginning of her time at Stanford. As an undergraduate, she filmed her mockumentary Dorm Diaries about Black life at Stanford. She also collaborated with other students to create video and stage productions, including Spike Lee adaptations and a Motown version of Grease. After Stanford, Issa went on to create and act in the groundbreaking web comedy series, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. She wrote a best-selling memoir of the same name. Issa then created and stars in the HBO comedy series Insecure, for which she has earned multiple Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. There are a lot of fans here, he said. And I personally can't wait to hear her voice as Spider-Woman in the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. In 2018, Issa was included in Time Magazine's list of the 100 most influential people, and she was twice listed as one of Forbes' 30 under 30. In her writing, producing, and acting, Issa focuses on authentic experiences of young Black people today. She's broadened the types of stories being told about contemporary Black America. Issa also produces film and TV and has her own music label and management company. She uses her platform to champion emerging Black artists and other people of color across many mediums, from acting to songwriting to the visual arts. She's also a vocal advocate for civil rights and women's rights. In the words of our senior class presidents, Issa, quote, embodies the courage, strength, and resilience that the class of 2021 has demonstrated not just during their senior year in a pandemic, but during their entire Stanford careers. Please join me in welcoming Issa Rae.
Hello, good morning. Thank you guys for the warm welcome. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you to the president for having me here and the student body presidents for nominating me. It's such an honor and privilege to be your class of 2021 commencement speaker. I'm both delighted and terrified to speak here at my alma mater and what is hands down the best school in the world. And I can say that because I've been to every school on earth, so you can trust me. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge, as the speakers before me have, that you guys are incredible for making it this far. Obviously, this past year and a half has tested so many of us, and I can't imagine having to muster up the enthusiasm, much less the strength to finish getting my degree while the world was falling apart around us, but you fucking did it. And and I promise you that despite the insanity and uncertainty you've endured, you will cherish these years and the people around you for the rest of your life, and you can actually trust me on that. It took me leaving here to realize it, but this place is truly amazing. You can get a good education anywhere, honestly, no shade, Stanford. But what made Stanford special for me was two things. One, it granted me the room to make a space for myself if I didn't see one, which in turn gave me the confidence to create a space for myself when I officially entered the outside world. And two, most importantly and life-changingly so, is the community it allowed me to build. The community I built at this school is without a doubt the reason I was able to pursue my dreams and why I was asked to speak here today before you. And so this morning, I'd like to walk you through how this community shaped me, if that's okay with you. Thank you for that approval. So it actually all started here for me. I remember sitting where you all sat in my own graduation, a lot closer together, when I was 22. My friends and I had just done the hypest wacky walk of all time. I'm standing by that. We carried a boombox and we were blasting Boosie, Fox, and Webby's Wipe Me Down remix. That iconic song would serve as our personal anthem for future birthdays, holidays, more graduations, weddings, reunions, kickbacks, and congratulatory celebrations. I didn't realize it at the time, but the opening bars of that bop would serve as a personal mantra for me and the way I moved through my community and through my own spaces in life. But more on that later. A couple of months prior to our graduation, there was a rumor that started spreading that Oprah was gonna be our commencement speaker. And we were all excited as hell. Like, I was especially hyped because Oprah was and is one of my core 3 inspirations, along with Diddy and Ellen. This was 2007, so chill on me. I couldn't believe that Oprah herself was gonna come and send off our class into greatness. It was like, wow, what a way to go out. And then a few weeks before, it was announced that we were getting a poet laureate to speak, and I said, a poet what-iot? And I was triggered because I've never been cultured enough to enjoy just like raw poetry. My shit needs to be cooked a little. But I still went in with an open mind. However, you can't play a song like Wipe Me Down and then just sit down and listen to dry words, no matter how brilliant they were, and they were. So unfortunately, my mind closed really quickly. And in my defense, I was so hyped off of the adrenaline of finally entering into the next phase of my life. And I tuned everything out to cherish the final moments with my friends. For the last time, we'd all be in the same city. So we were quietly cracking jokes, laughing and sharing memories with one another in the audience via text. And in hindsight, it was disrespectful. And if you're doing that during my speech right now, absolutely no hard feelings. I forgive you because I'm on your time. My West African dad, however, was sitting up in the audience watching me seething. He sent me a text from above, and he said, "Stop acting like a fool and show some respect." And I was like, how you see me? Damn, like we were so close when I tell you. So my dad was particularly upset that day because up until that point, he was under the impression that I had spent the last 4 years majoring in political science. And I had already disappointed him once in high school when I discovered after working at his Inglewood clinic and interning at Killer King Hospital that I didn't like to see people in pain, and I no longer wanted to be a doctor like he was. But then he bounced back quickly and he was like, "Oh, there's always law or business." And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll pursue law then. And so instead, he learned that day via the snitch ceremony pamphlets, I guess, that I had actually not majored in poli-sci. And after the ceremony, he yelled, "African American studies, you may as well have majored in flowers." And I didn't understand why botany had to catch a stray like that, but he was quite pissed. To my credit, I took all the courses to be able to declare, but when it came time to answer the simple question of why I wanted to major in political science, I could only think because my dad wanted me to. And so I didn't. I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to pursue film, TV, and at the time, theater, and I wanted to tell our stories, but I was also too scared to pursue it as anything but a hobby until Stanford and the community I built here changed that for me. So now I'd like to revisit the song "Wipe Me Down" that I was just telling you about and deconstruct those influential bars that shaped my approach and worldview. What are those magical lyrics, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Fox opens the first verse with these powerful 2 sentences. "I pull up at the club, VIP, gas tank on E, but all drinks on me. Wipe me down." That is the kind of seasoned poetry I can get behind. Let me repeat that. I pull up at the club, VIP, gas tank on E, but all drinks on me. Wipe me down. When I use my Stanford education to break these lyrics down, I can't help but to think of my own journey and what your journey will ultimately be. Now, mind you, a lot of this will be a reach, but so were most of the papers I turned in here, so just bear with me. So let's start with the first bar. I pull up at the club, VIP. Now here, imagine you're entering the club of life. Over the years, I've learned how essential it's been for me to approach every opportunity as a VIP, as someone who belongs and deserves to be here. That was a lesson I began to learn at Stanford. From the moment I started my first class at this school, I started to question whether or not I truly deserved to be here. I thought I was great at calculus until I took Math 42 that first quarter and my entire world collapsed. And I was like, can I even add? Like, what the fuck was AP Calc for? Why did I do that? And then a couple of quarters in, I learned, like many of you did, I'm sure, oh, everybody feels like that here. And everybody worries that they don't deserve to be here. And then I settled in and slowly started to create the spaces that made me comfortable on campus. When I felt the drama department was a little too white to fit into, I was able to get the resources from Stanford to put on multicultural theatrical productions for all 4 years that I was here. And thank you. And my fellow classmates rallied to support my admittedly very bootleg productions by either being in the shows, helping me behind the scenes, and buying tickets to attend them. After my second year of putting on plays, I felt like I could actually write, direct, and produce professionally. So when I was a sophomore here, we didn't have a film program yet, so I stopped out of school to try to pursue film in LA. At 19, I had co-written a feature film script with my writing partner at the time, a fellow Stanford classmate who shared my love for 90s Black romances. And gassed that we had written something special, we begged our parents to let us take some time off to try to get this film made and make it in Hollywood. Her parents were cool about it, but my mom was worried about my commitment, like, don't waste this time. And my dad was like, don't waste our money. And I promised them both that I would come back to school if nothing happened by the end of that quarter. And they agreed to let me stop out. Long story short, we did not make it in Hollywood. And I learned so many disheartening lessons about the kinds of stories Hollywood was not interested in telling. Lessons that would make me question whether I could ever tell stories in this industry at all. So I came back to finish out school, tail between my legs, and continued to put on these plays that built my confidence as a creative. And again, these plays were super trash in hindsight, but the Stanford community, and my community in particular, really made me feel like they were Tony Award worthy. My senior year, after still trying and failing to secure writing opportunities because I was told my work didn't have an audience and it couldn't sell, I got the inspiration, as you heard, to create a web series that I called Dorm Diaries. The series was about being Black at Stanford and featured my friends who were playing archetypes. Like, hey girl, I have this whole character, you should play her, it's not about you. And in some cases, my friends were putting in hours for class, their schoolwork, rehearsals for the play that I was putting on, and then dedicating their time to be in this hobby of a web series that I made. And that's love. And then when I released the series on Facebook, again, this was 2007, guys, get off my back, the outpouring of support for the episodes from my community made me realize that Hollywood was wrong about there not being an audience for the stories that I wanted to tell. So as you leave this campus and venture out, whether you're starting a new job or going to grad school or figuring out your purpose from gig to gig, make sure you pull up at the club VIP, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The next bar of Fox's opus opened my eyes to the true nature of giving. Again, he says, gas tank on E, but all drinks on me. Oh man, I just got chills. Do you hear the humility and service in that? What I took from this line is that no matter what obstacles or dire circumstances you personally face, you should always value and celebrate your community. He's saying, no matter what I'm going through, I got you. And those are words to live by and words I've experienced from my chosen family right here. Trust and believe that your Stanford family will show up for you in unexpected ways. When I was a freshman, I lived in Rinconada, and my other close friend lived in Branner. And we would always make the bike treks to Ooge to generally kick it, but she had ulterior motives. She had a crush on a guy who was 2 years ahead of us because he reminded her of her current boyfriend. He was an amazing dancer, and he was also gay, but ride or die friends don't ask questions, they just ride, so I always tagged along on her visits. They never got together because she had a boyfriend, and of course, again, he was gay. And then he eventually graduated, leaving us behind. But fast forward to 2011, I'm 4 years out of college, very broke, not where I want to be at all. And I have this one idea for a series called The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl that I've been sitting on for 2 years because I don't have the resources or the money to make it happen. And out of the blue, my friend's old crush hits me up saying that he's been thinking about pursuing acting and asks if I know of any classes or opportunities to please send them his way. I tell him I will absolutely be on the lookout. And then when I finally pressure myself to stop making excuses and decide to make the first episode of Awkward Black Girl, he is the first person I called to act in it. I didn't have much of a script, just a concept, but he was down because he wanted the experience. And as the series started to grow, I was getting progressively more poor, but my small extended Stanford community started to come through in ways that I just didn't expect. The girl that I mentioned co-writing the script with at 19, my sophomore year, came on as a producer and helped up the production quality of the series. And then when we started a small writer's room for Awkward Black Girl, we tapped another girl from Stanford who was a year older than us, who I didn't even speak to, or she didn't speak to me at the time. We didn't know each other. And she was working to break into the industry. And then the two of them were just as broke as I was, gas tanks on E, but they rallied together to buy drinks and help me make the series. And then when I couldn't afford to make the show anymore, it was our mutual Stanford friends, and in some cases administrators, who donated either personally or via Kickstarter to keep the series going. And at that I have to shout out Ms. Jan Barker-Alexander, who was just so instrumental in so much of my experience here and outside. The outpouring of support from this community of people who I met here on campus are the reason I was able to ultimately make the show of my dreams for HBO, Insecure. And in my own industry journey, no matter my circumstances, I've always made it a priority to buy the next round of drinks for upcoming creatives, figuratively speaking, sometimes literally too. So did that work? Are y'all still with me? Okay. Well, that brings me to my last golden nugget of a sentence. The refrain, wipe me down. The refrain commands respect. It says, give me my props, I've earned them. And yesterday morning, I finished shooting the final season of my show, Insecure. Thank you. And when I wrapped, what ended up being a very grueling week and a final 20-hour day, I got teary-eyed while thanking one of my Awkward Black Girl OGs from my curated Stanford community. She started with me on the web series back in 2011 and ended with me as an executive producer on the TV show just yesterday. And she was standing right across from me, and then right next to her stood one of my best friends, another alum who creatively inspired one of the main characters in the series, whether she wanted to or not, low-key. And this is a show that I was writing for 8 years, shooting for 6, and a series that the industry just 10 years ago was confident wouldn't have an audience. We were nominated for 8 Emmys last year and won one, and we got to shoot. And we got to shoot 5 seasons of it on our terms. So, wipe me down. That show and my journey was literally made possible, not by any mentors or connections to the industry. It was made by tapping into the people sitting next to me at one point. Connecting with new people after school is especially hard during this time and climate, but if nothing else, the isolation and circumstances of last year made the relationships I've been able to build over time that much more dear to me. And I will continue to value these relationships as I enter this exciting next chapter of my life, much like you all are. So as you leave here today, many of you might be wondering, what the hell is next? You might feel smart and satisfied with your experience here, but unprepared. Or you may feel lost for a bit as you figure out what moves to make, or where to go, and how to make the most of the time and hella money you spent here. Many of those answers are sitting right next to you, or across from you, or behind you. Build and tap into your community. The brilliant minds in this room will have a hand in shaping the culture, making the world better, leaving long-lasting legacies behind, and doing a bunch of other important shit. I've watched so many people in my own class do just that, and I can't wait to witness what you all contribute to the world. So to honor the classic song that has guided my own life, as you leave this room, don't forget to ask yourself what you can offer to make the club of life go up, how you can make this place better in spite of your circumstances. And as you figure those things out, don't forget to step back and wipe yourselves down, wipe each other down, and go claim what's yours like the VIPs that you are. You've earned it. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Isa, for those wise words and for urging our graduates to build their lives with confidence, with humility, with empathy, and with respect for others and for themselves, and also to nurture their friendships and their community, and be good friends in return and rely on that community. So I'm actually inspired to ask our graduates this question: if in the future you see a friend or another person in need, who will the drinks be on? Will they be on you? I can't hear that. Who will they be on? Yeah. And just to be clear, for everyone here today, the drinks are on me. And now, to hand out the drinks, will the provost please present the candidates for degrees?
Mr. President, I have the honor to recognize all those who have completed the requirements for undergraduate degrees. Will the recipients of the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Arts and Science please stand?
By the authority vested in me by the faculty and trustees of this university, I am delighted to confer publicly upon each of you the bachelor degree and admit to you its rights, responsibilities, and privileges. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated?
Well, thank you, Provost Drell. Again, to the members of the class of 2021, on behalf of Stanford University, congratulations to you on this very special day. You've graduated from the family of Stanford students, and you've joined the family of Stanford alumni. From this day forward, wherever you go in the world, whatever path you follow or explore, and whatever contributions you seek to make, you will remain forever cardinal and forever a part of the Stanford community. And in closing, as you start a new journey as graduates of Stanford, I hope you will let today serve as a true commencement, a beginning, not an ending. You've persevered through an extraordinary and challenging time. Now is the moment to take what you've learned and use that knowledge to shape the life you want to lead. I urge each of you to follow your talents, your interests, and your values, to discover your own unique path, and to build a life of meaning and purpose. Congratulations, class of 2021.
After months of disruption and uncertainty, longing and loss, a stadium suffused with shouts of recognition and celebration, the splendor of the symphony of learning that is Stanford. Proud graduates of the incomparable class of 2021, and those who love, support, and teach them. On this day of triumph and tenderness, on this day of wistfulness and wisdom, let us honor those alive with curiosity. Let us embrace those who nurture dreams. Let us speak words of gratitude to those who learn and teach. Take this Stanford birthright, wherever your feet may lead you, and bring it forth in a world crying out for wisdom, in a world crying out for justice, in a world crying out for peace. May you plant intelligence and innovation, promise and purpose, hope and healing, kindness and comfort. Not just to do well, but to do good. Not just to serve yourself, but to strengthen our citizenry. Adonai yishmor tzetecha uvoecha me'atav yad olam. May the Sacred One guard you as you go forth and as you return, now and forevermore.
2021 graduates, bear with us as we ask you to stay in your seats until you are directed to recess. Please stay in your seats. Rows 1 through 6, you are free to exit. Recess to your left and out through the tunnel. Thank you. Thank you for waiting. Rows 7 through 12, you are free to exit. Sections 112, section 112, 113, you guys are free to exit. Thank you for waiting. Rows 13 to 21. Rows 13 to 21, you are free to exit. Please do so. Recess to your left and out through the tunnel. And rows 22 through 42, you are free to exit. Thank you very much for waiting. you.